We've been talking about Assassin's Creed 4 here for a couple of days at E3, but one thing we haven't really covered is the multiplayer. We're joined by Damien, thanks very much indeed. We're going to sort of elaborate about what multiplayer is. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you too.
Okay. Let's start right from the beginning. Multiplayer for Assassin's Creed 4, what changes have you guys made? How does it work in the Black Flag?
A ton of things, to be honest. First and foremost, it's the new games, the new setting, pirates, everything is about pirates, and it's the same for multiplayer. And it's a perfect setting for a multiplayer game. So we have a brand new cast of characters made of pirates and other type of characters. And also we have new, very exotic and varied locations thanks to this pirate setting. One of the other things that we're showcasing is that we have revamped some of the core of the game. So like we've revamped the scoring, we've done a ton of improvement based on the community feedback. And lastly, the big reveal of this year is the Game Lab. The Game Lab is a tool we give to the player so that they can create their own mode. So what we do here at E3 is that every day we have a different mode, and all those modes have been created with the Game Lab tool.
Okay. Well, what sort of game modes are we expecting to see with Game Lab? I mean, can you give us a few examples of what we've seen so far here?
Yeah, it's a very powerful tool. So you can create a ton of things. The idea is that you start from a template. So like you pick the wanted mode, it's the mode you like, and then you mess up with it, you change it the way you want to play it. And because all of our game is based on the scoring, you know, it's not the amount of kills you do that matters, but it's the quality of the kills you perform. It means that you can, by changing the scoring, you can really change the way you play the mode. So for example, today we have the Pistolier mode. And the whole idea behind the Pistolier mode is that the only way to kill is to shoot someone with the gun ability. So it becomes kind of a shooter, a weird shooter, a slow-paced shooter, but it's really changing the way you're playing the game.
Talking about characters you can select in it, what sort of range of characters, what sort of skills should we expect to see?
So you have always your abilities. The abilities is kind of your tools you're using when you're playing the game. So I just used the pistol, which is of course one of our ability, and we have a ton of others. The one we are revealing today at E3, one of the new one, is the time phase. The time phase, it's an ability that creates kind of a zone where everything is slows down. So if somebody is chasing you, you can slow him down. It's a good way to get away from a chase, or it's also a good way to trap someone and then kill him.
I think that's actually quite a good idea. You guys are sort of tapping into the Animus being a system, therefore you can play around with time. I mean, have you sort of ventured a bit more? Have you guys been thinking up of crazy new ideas to sort of tie into that?
Yeah, of course. Last year we had the Animus score, which was a map half loaded by the Animus. Like we had an error in the Animus, so it was half map with the core loading and the other part that were really weird. And we really like playing with the Animus for the multiplayer because you're playing a simulation in the multiplayer anyway. So you're reliving part of the history in real location with real characters, but then you have all the Animus abilities, all the Animus possibilities, and we're really playing with that on all of our modes and the abilities and things like that. Time phase is a perfect example of that.
We're no longer Desmond, we are part of the game now. This is our world, there's a crossover point. So in that regard then, does the multiplayer sort of sync more in with the single player because effectively it's your profile playing across that multiplayer? Yeah,
it definitively sync more. You know, we introduced the whole idea of Abstergo Entertainment last year with the multiplayer of Assassin's Creed 3. The multiplayer of Assassin's Creed 3 was a game made by Abstergo Entertainment for the public, and was the same for Assassin's Creed Liberation. And so now the single player this year is also embracing the whole Abstergo Entertainment idea. So we're really more linked on this aspect between the single player and multiplayer.
Okay, now you do get to explore cities, you do get to attack people on streets. Yeah. Assassin's Creed 4 also has ships.
So yes, the single player has ships, not the multiplayer. It's something we have looked into because it makes sense. As you said, it's a very big part of the single player, and that's what makes the new single player so awesome, the seamless open world with the boats and going on ground and things like that. So it's one of the things we look into for the multiplayer, and it's in the end something we couldn't do by just investigating on it. You know, there was a whole team working on the boats part for Assassin's Creed 3 during 3 years. A whole team doing only that for a single player game. So when we started looking to do a multiplayer game of that, it was just impossible, an impossible task. You know, why the boat is so interesting in the single player is because the ocean is really one of the big pillar of the boat. So you use it. It's a tool for you to trap people, and you have all this simulation of the dynamics of fluid and stuff like that. And something we can't replicate in multiplayer perfectly for everybody, so that they can have the same wave and the same type of things at the same time. So all of those are some reason why we didn't went into this route, but also that's why we said we still need to improve a lot on the multiplayer, and that's why we did the game lab, you know, to say, let's give the tools to the players, to the community. We have a very strong community who is following us since the beginning because we are a very unique game, and we are very, very delighted to know that now they can do their own mode and their own experience.
It's coming to next gen. Next gen, the big push at this E3 is being about the connected world, the idea that we're pushing the multiplayer aspects, the social aspects. Has that impacted you guys for your next gen version of Assassin's Creed 4?
Yes, so we'll have things. I can't go into details today, but we're building something with the single player on a connectivity tablet and things like that, and you will have links with the multiplayer too. You know, we introduced some things last year already on AC3. For example, you could edit your abilities remotely, and then it was updated in new game. And it was the same with your Templar profile. So we were starting already doing that on current gen last year. So we'll try to go on the next step on that, of course, for next gen this year. And then because it's next gen, we have a whole new graphics engine. We have integrated new graphics engine on the multiplayer. The maps looks and the character, they really look gorgeous. Everybody is saying us to like, oh, for a multiplayer, it's incredible. So and of course, because it's multiplayer, one of the very big features that we really do like is the streaming feature. You know, people already on AC3, they like stream their content, and now the fact that they can stream again their content directly with the in-game, the in-console app in the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 is very powerful for us.
Okay. Well, what have you guys got left to do now, between now and when you launch? I mean, what's left for the multiplayer side of things?
We have a ton of things to reveal more. Wolfpack, of course, was one of the very big new feature we had last year on AC3. It's coming back. I can't go into details, but it will be better and bigger. And we have other mode to disclose or other content to disclose thanks to the game lab, other abilities. You haven't seen all the cast of characters. We're showcasing only one map. We have a ton of other maps, and we're really hard at work at Ubisoft to close the game, to finish it, to polish it, and to have all the content at the same level as the demo here.
Listen, thank you very much indeed for taking the time to talk to us.
Thank you too.